a 4.5.
No, it's a
Made like a
4.6.
random. A 4.6. Made like a random.
Yeah, Murados are 4.6.
Made a weird
Let's
noise.
see if let's see if this.
Fucking hell.
See if I can.
We like it.
We are trying to get. I don't think the. It ain't gonna pop out the chat. See if we can try it again.
Popping out chat.
Okay. Okay, let's try it again. There we go. Man, I tell you what, I don't know why it does that. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. There we go. No, pop this guy out. There we go. What is up, everybody? Having some little technical difficulties over here, but we got it covered. We got DST here. We got the crew. Rayman Rake, CPG. Cliffy Whiffy will be arriving. I'm sure if we've got some time. Bearded Fortech. We are going to be talking about Ford trucks and a couple of things that, well, I don't know if you guys are having a couple of things, but maybe one thing in particular. We're going to talk about this typewriter tick that a lot of people have, not only on the glorious 6.7, but people are also having it on their 5.0s. And I don't have a 5.0, but a lot of people do in their F-150s and so forth. So one of the things, well, this is the only one that I have seen at all, has been where DS trucks. If you guys see the picture over here up on the screen in front of you, we have a 23 F450, and he has used his truck for various things, pulling. He has a landscaping business, and what he has encountered is quite interesting. And I can't say that I have ever seen it. And there's only one thing that I feel that would cause this, and it would be the regen process. You guys are familiar with that. What is up, Mr. David? I'll see you in the morning. The left, no, the right rear tail light. Imagine it melting. He's got the truck out here. He's I think he's gonna go out and actually show us the deformality of
Might be
the
too
tail light.
dark.
Might be too dark.
Maybe we'll see.
Bring you one of them Milwaukee's.
I'm at home and I got it all at work.
Oh, do you? You guys got to check this out. What up, C-Dub? Up on the water, hitting them 4,000-pound carpets. What up, Dave P? No, the CCV units that are not serviceable don't require anything. Just the ones with the filters hammered down. I got lights coming.
Let me see if I can grab a light. But
All
anyway,
right.
continue while I look for a light.
Yeah, but bear with us. DS is going to be show and telling us right now. I don't know if any of you guys out there has a newer model Ford Super D. I would say 23 or newer. Well, I guess maybe 22 and below, whatever. But have your tail lights melted? Now, somebody told him it was the bulbs. Well, I highly doubt that the bulbs would have caused this kind of deformation here in the exterior part of the tail light. But nonetheless, I think it is interesting to talk about because I have yet to see a 6.7 uh,
Guy at work
melt.
has a 20. Guy at work has a 23. His isn't melted.
His isn't.
Is not.
Now,
is
keep
not.
in mind, I've done a lot of working with this thing.
That's true.
Um,
There we go. We got
I
some.
need a flashlight.
Why?
We got some
I
lumens.
need a flashlight.
For what? Here.
Thanks.
Where are you going?
I'll be right back.
Ow. No.
Let's see. I got a cell phone light. Let's see. This is bright enough.
Perfect.
Come on.
That happens when you don't change your oil on time. Hello, everyone. I'm glad I caught the chat. What up, Jay Kenny?
So I mean, I run
Hello.
this truck pretty hard. I run like, I think one day I ran it for like 24 hours straight.
Oh, you got a little doggy there. Need a doggy. All right, here we go. Here's the big rig. Let's check it out. Let's look at this right rear tail light. Thing looking like it's probably crying.
So it was funny. Like I come outside, I'm looking at the truck, and I'm like, did somebody bust this tail light? Like it just looks weird. Like, and I'm looking, and I get closer, and I look, and sure enough, the side of this tail light's all bubbled out.
Go closer.
So
Get a little closer. Yeah, go like all the way up to it. Not with the light, with the camera.
see how that looks along the side here.
Yeah, and yours are
Now
LED
let's-
too, aren't they?
Just a reverse.
Okay.
Oh, I think we lost him. Everybody. Yep. There he is.
I gotta turn
There
off
he
the
is.
light.
There he
I
is.
gotta turn off. Turn.
You could be right, Tom Jubb. Since DS snowplows, could this be from having regens at slow speed? Possibly. What up, Zoodad?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So this is the good side. And then you come over here.
Show like the actual right side of the taillight.
Yeah, but
Like go closer.
yeah, hey, you're on the internet. Look at yeah, hang on.
Yeah,
And there's the
that's-
exhaust right there.
That's kind of
It's hard to see. It's hard to see because it's dark. But
It looks
definitely
really
kinda
wavy
interesting.
right there. Like right where the bliss thing is. I
now,
don't know
now
if,
the thing is, when I'm working the truck, a lot of times I'll be on the job and I'll have to charge up batteries. And it's pretty convenient with the Pro Power. And you hit that button and it turns on the generator mode and all that. But then a lot of times it kicks up the idle and it sits there and just idles up. And I don't know if that's what happened, if it was sitting there and it was doing some type of a regen and it wasn't enough airflow.
I don't know. That
I don't
might
know.
be a cause for some verbiage in a ticket for thermal event, possibly.
Ooh,
Like,
don't
that's
say
why would-
fire.
That's,
would-
I mean, a fire. That's right to a GCSC or what do you call with a GRQ or GQ? That's right to the main department. You say fire.
That's
they're not gonna-
that's the OGC.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what.
we don't know
wouldn't the-
what this new
Well-
emission system is doing. I mean, they put the injector in the exhaust.
Well, how come the fender's not melted?
I don't know. You know, the
Because
fender.
it's aluminum and it dissipates heat remarkably well.
No, the fender's fiberglass.
The fiber's fiberglass.
And I mean, there's some other plastic
Well,
stuff. I don't know
don't
if
know
it's
what
because
I'm
it's
talking
a different kind of plastic. Like this stuff's not melting.
Was it doing the 6.4 burn? That was wild.
That's back when the phones were potatoes.
I don't know. Maybe they messed something up, but no one's come out and said they've had the same issue. So
Wow.
Imagine if the 6.4 burn happened nowadays.
You know
Have
what
you taken
I
have you taken the bulbs out and looked at them?
no. But let me see. I got the key here. What's interesting
the-
about the
what's the dealer
bulb,
gonna say to you? Are they gonna deny you?
probably, I don't know. So where the bulbs are, it's not really warped or melted where they are. It's more along the side.
Hmm.
Like
But
this whole side.
the socket's right back behind that.
This whole side, like right here, is all
Yeah, right
warped.
there where your hand is, the socket's right back behind that, where it goes into the housing.
Yeah.
You know, like remember the Tauruses where the headlight sockets would melt? Do you remember
Hmm.
those?
I can see that, but I don't see the whole side of it. You know.
Well, they did it on the Tauruses. It would actually melt the housing of the headlight. I'm not saying that's what it is, but it'd be worth a shot to look at it.
Yeah, it could be. But what really throws it off is the fact that the other side is perfectly normal.
Does that have the scale in it or no?
No,
No scale.
no scale.
No scale. So one of the other things that kind of plagues these trucks, I guess depending on, what oil you use and what your regimen is, do you guys get the typewriter tick? Have you complained about it? Have you gone to your dealer and said that you're getting this ticking noise? What have they done for you? Are they bringing me out the door? Are they saying it's normal? Which I have not found a reason other than what I've been told, because I can't just tear down an engine just to tear it down and find nothing, because that's not how that whole process works. But for the same fact, the noise is there and dissipates throughout the oil change interval. So how do you convey that to the customer who just spent XYZ on a truck? Or bearded vortex case, when you have a fleet of, what do you got? 20 ambulances? More?
38.
Oh, okay. So if you got a fleet of vehicles like that, this can be very important on how you start critiquing your maintenance, or if you're using the different products that I should say work better than others, different additives. What up, Pink Taco Tuesday? I've heard the tick. I only got 8K miles on my 22. I've had it on mine. I do notice that when I use the 10W30, I feel that it's not as pronounced as when I would be using the 5W40. So I don't know if it's me, or if it's placebo, or if in fact it is making a smaller amount of noise. But I know a lot of guys are using top tier oil. Tom Jubb here in New York sucks. Yeah, it does. A lot of you guys are using, high tier, not Wolf's Head motor oil, and we still are susceptible to this noise. What is it? Is there something actually wrong? Now, we were talking about this in the live stream pregame. Is it something Ray had mentioned? Is it the temperature change of the oil in a different temperature of an engine? Is that creating a different um, um,
A
oil
tolerance somewhere.
thickness? Yeah, something. I mean, we don't know. It's
I mean, I was just spitballing, just trying to be outside the box a little bit. I mean, that sounds kind of far fetched, though. You dump in cool oil and it cools apart, and now it makes a noise. It's worth thinking about.
It's what's it going to affect the acoustics? And
Is it
for
related to the valve train?
Is this something Dave's Auto has covered? Have you seen him talk about this before? The tick noise?
On the 6.7, yeah.
I have a 22 250, 6.2, 8,800 miles. Start to hear ticking noise.
My 23 doesn't do it. I have one 2020 that does it every now and then. That's it. Out of
Interesting.
all of mine, that's the only ones that do it, or the only one that does it.
What up, Wrenching Mafia? What up, Rich Wit?
But it does go away after a while, right? After an oil change.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah, it goes away.
Have you used
I've heard it
Motorcraft,
once, but it
Rotella,
wasn't.
Valvoline? Never had the tick. 22 450. Okay. 540
I've heard it
next.
once, but it
Okay.
wasn't really alarming to me.
How many of you guys are going to Walmart or are you guys going to Costco? Are you getting Kirkland's signature oil and a pair of socks and maybe a packet of ham and then some bread and cheese so you can make a Kirkland signature hammy Sammy while you are doing a Kirkland signature oil change? This is not promoted by Kirkland signature, but I've never used their oil. What are you guys using? I know you're not buying a drum. I mean, sometimes you do have to buy junk, but sometimes people's oil orders. Man, I see some pictures, some oil orders. This man right here, holy but Jesus. We got drums, we got cases, we got this and sprays and gloves, and I mean, you talk about that's a nice. I'm never gonna order. That's a lot of oil, buddy. But you need the stuff regardless. So,
Oh, real quick, let me weigh in on that Kirkland oil, man, because I tried that out because I buy like everything from Costco because it's
Give
better
it to
than
me.
Walmart. And I have sent it to Blackstone Labs after running it in a gas vehicle and in my Duramax, and it tested remarkably well after a 6,000 mile interval.
Oh wow,
It had
that was
more
in
or
your
less.
Duramax.
Yep,
What viscosity were you running?
1540.
Oh wow.
I tested it at 6 and it was fine, and then I changed it at 8 and tested it again and it was still fine. And I'm 8 to 10 is kind of like my limit, and I'm like, well, it's not AMSOIL, it is Costco oil, so we're gonna go 8 and that's all. But I
New
have
York,
since moved on, but I wanted to find out.
New York Suck says Amsoil or Schaefer's. My Costco doesn't sell diesel oil. You know what my Costco over here doesn't sell the artesian spring bottled water. That's Kirkland signature, which is fire, and they ain't got no Topo Chicos. WTF?
Ours have
bet-
that.
I bet
can't
if you
find them.
ask them, if you ask them, they might get it for you.
You think so?
They
Be
might.
like, let me make it worth your while.
Well,
I'll tell
I
you
mean,
what. Order
maybe
me a
they
pallet.
don't know there's demand for bubbly water.
I
Hey, for
mean,
your oil test, are you sending it to Lake Speed, Anthony?
Which oil
we
test?
need to get Mr.
Like
Lake
your
Speed
oil
back on here.
analysis?
I just did one. Yeah.
How do
That
you
was
like
last
sending
week.
it? How is it? Is it better, a lot better than Blackstone?
Yes. Much better.
I want to try it out.
It's
I
easier
got
to
tired
read.
of.
It's easy to read. It's color coded. If you have any questions, you can email him and he will respond back to you, not just some random person.
So he writes it.
Yeah.
Wow. How much are the kids?
It's like $50 or $59.
Yeah, that's
But
interesting.
there's a promo code, and I'll ask him if it's okay if I let people use it before I give it out. But I've already said too much. I'm sorry.
Word.
Yeah, I'd
Let
like
me make
to.
sure it's okay. Let me make sure it's okay with him first.
Pennzoil Ultra Platinum. Okay. Okay.
That's a good oil.
Ultra
Tell
Platinum
it.
is good. Somebody was just commenting on my video like, hey, why don't you use Ultra Platinum? It's half the cost of AMSOIL. But it doesn't work like AMSOIL in my truck like it would somewhere else. Plus, I get AMSOIL at a better cost anyway.
Yes.
What was like all the products that you had ordered? Did you get a drum, 2 drums? Did you get filter? Like what was a typical order that you would place?
Show
2
us the
drums of
picture.
you got it on your phone, right?
I do. Hang on. Hang on, because I'm sending Aaron a video of a melted terminal, so we could backtrack to the checking the connections on DS's truck. So I want to do that first. Hang on. I'm like doing 7 things at once live on the internet. All right, now I gotta find.
I'm so tired. I take the tail light off. I'm just too tired.
There. Let me find that picture of all that oil. It's buried in there, man. We text a lot.
We do.
Yeah, it's back there. Ooh, drive shafts. Jack wagons in the comment section.
Jack wagon.
Jack wagons flooded everywhere after Hurricane Debbie.
So
Wait, you sent that to me and Aaron at the same time. I'm in the wrong.
You're in the wrong text.
Hey, I got
So
this
we
one.
just go to
I
a
found.
text.
Oh, it doesn't work.
Here we
I found
go.
Oh
this
yeah,
one.
the Nissan toes.
Yeah, the Nissan toes. Look how cute those are.
I sent
Here
that to
comes
Fluffy.
Fluffy
He was
Wuffy.
like, "What is that?" I said, "It's head, shoulders, Nissan toes, man. Come on."
When did Forscan stop supporting Land Rover? Wonder if they still do Jaguar. Hey, that's a question for Cody Wody.
I can tell you, it don't work on my truck.
Hmm.
What was that? Ray? I
Somebody
couldn't
was
see it.
saying Forscan
I can't
won't allow
make
you to
it
change
work.
the
It's
fuel.
not picking up my phone. And what if I
Is
put
it
my
true that
face
you
next
can't
to it?
change the fuel
No,
distance
it's
to
not
E
working
with
either.
Forscan?
This one?
Yeah,
that one. Yeah.
Look at all them goodies. So we got like some trans, extended life, 500. What are you putting 020 in?
Tahoes.
Oh, they take 020?
Oh,
The new ones do the 22s.
8
What
quarts.
do you got? A pumper? You got a gray coat pumper,
Yeah, that was free.
and then some other bullshit. What's the drum of oil? What flavor?
540 diesel. And then
Ooh.
there's 530 in there. There's 520, 020, transmission fluid, brake fluid. And there's probably some other stuff buried in there somewhere too.
Hey, right. Right.
Yeah.
We would love to send you one to check and test out. See if you could stand behind it. What's the best address?
You totally got to give that dude your address. Have him send you one, man.
Nah, dude,
Oh,
take a
bro.
selfie holding the tool and then send it back to him.
Oh, wait, can I get one of the pre-production ones?
Like, is that this one?
Oh gosh, that's funny. That's too funny. I'll just stir on that for a little bit. That's pretty funny. Yeah, so I guess if
The viewers
what up,
don't
Cliffy?
know we're trolling somebody and we can't say what's going on yet because they might be here, but yeah.
But what they don't know. It's
What they don't
just,
know is going to be really embarrassing. It's going to be funny.
That's
I
gonna be a face to
mean,
palm right there.
Are you going to try AM's oil? I can't see. Oh, filter.
Hands up.
I think so. I have a couple of them sitting around, that and the PPE one. I have
098.
I don't
So
know.
that is a 098.
Maybe I don't know what the part number is. I have
I
a couple of them.
I got a bunch of those too, but I got 2 dual bypass systems on 2 of my rigs too.
I do know. I'm a little disappointed to find out one of the subscribers whom I keep in contact with. A lot of you guys I talk to quite frequently on the outside of the YouTube. And he let me know that the upper filter that Fleece has been coming out with not only is a little subpar filter, isn't maybe as close to the OE standards as we would um, like. The filter head, I think, is very slick. I just am a little afraid to try and install this on a truck without having the filtration that is requested by the stock filter. So with that being said, I don't know if you're able to locate such a filter with that head, and I don't think that is possible. I don't know if any of you guys have that upper set up from that company. But I need to get some feedback and see what other filters you guys are using, if in fact you're not, and what you're going with. I have one gentleman who is actually putting the HSM stuff on his truck, wants to relocate the filter down below because he likes it down there, but does not want to use the HSM upper, wants to use the fleece upper, so we're not finagling with any of the lines. So I thought that was a cool idea. Like, it's black, it kind of chills up there. So we're gonna have some mismatched kits. Might be doing a little video on that to kind of really see how that is, and maybe give you guys an option if that's something you want. What up, Jimmy? Docks and Motorcraft. Okay, I don't know. I'd probably choose the Motorcraft before I would do the docks.
I wouldn't touch the docks.
Yeah.
F-150s, they actually cause thermal events. Because the upper is made out of plastic instead of metal.
540 AMSOIL Signature Series, synthetic all year round, so I can do my oil and acid with Lake Speed Jr. Hell yeah, good dude. Yeah, Lake Speed, we've had him on here before. We'll have maybe reach out to him, get him back on here next week. Maybe come through and give us another drilling on what he does and how he does the oil test, because it's important. You guys, I get so many questions about that kind of stuff, and I think what better person to handle those questions, Lake Speed. My HSM upper filter relocation kit and HSM lower fuel filter kit just came in. Hell yeah. Make sure you read the instructions. And let me point something out to you. Cody, as my scout's honor, just because, and I'm sure J-Dog's going to yell at me. Bearded Ford Tech knows we're guilty. Okay, we don't read instructions. I mean, we just get in there, we do it, we put it down, it's done, it's over. Boom, boom, boom. All right, all right. So, the
The map sensor relocator.
yeah,
Is that what you did?
the HSM, you would figure the lines go into in and out to out. Well, they don't go into in and out to out. They go into out and out to in. They go in the filter, and then in the fuel chamber on that down there, and then it goes out, and then it goes into the filter, and it comes out the filter and goes to the engine. So that's how it's flowing. So when you do that, make sure that. The other thing too, if you have the extended bed, we just had a vehicle come in the other day that had the HSM lines ran under the frame, between the road and the frame, and had them zip tied. And I advised him that, either you can come back, we can, rectify this and make it correct, going over the frame and then coming down between the fuel tank and the frame. Just there's a cavity that's open. You can literally go right over. Just make sure you orient the things correctly so that you can run those right up over, because you don't want to be catching, double clutching and granny shifting. What up, Automatic Garage? The two fittings? Yes, the two fittings. Liberally apply white lithium grease to O-ring on the aluminum bowl to the OE lift pump. Yeah. Mine's a long, but definitely will not be going on the frame. Yeah, for sure. So, and then the other thing I ran into is if you have the extendo running boards like DS trucks, so you can, step on the running board, but it goes right in front of the rear tire. You'll have to, you'll have to do something with one of the holes to make it work if you did not get that kit. You'll see. If you go and compare the 23 kit with the kit before that, you'll see they made like a little jog in the bracket, or the little metal piece. So maybe he needs to make a little amendment to the CNC. Stock running boards or amp research. Oh, stock running boards for now. Amp. No, Skidoo's got the amp. plugging the stuff into the OBD. Who's got the splitter? Who's running the splitter? I think Skidoo's got the splitter. I'm not keen about having stuff plugged into the CAN circuits, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Steel body, yeah.
On the 17 and 19 trucks, it can actually set a DTC for the regeneration of the DPF sensor. The what is it? Particulate matter sensor.
If you did what?
Had something plugged into the OBD2 port.
Oh, really?
Hey, Cody, maybe you can answer this. How come on like a 250, the PMS sensor is at the back of the tailpipe, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how come on the cab chassis, it's in the back of the DPF
I have no
or
idea.
the SCR?
Because
You know what I mean?
engineering. Because engineers.
I've always
I don't
wondered
know.
that.
Why
I
is
didn't
it
know.
got two different systems? Why does one is completely different from the other? I have no idea why.
Because
Yeah,
I did a
sir.
I did a DPF the other day, and I've done many of them, and I just noticed it. I was like, wait a minute. Well, how come these go into the actual catalyst, but on the 250s it goes into the pipe? Like,
So
it's like 3 feet.
Do your
On the
ambulances
250, aren't they like all one unit?
The DPF and the catalyst is.
It's almost like you can't do anything separate. Like
No,
the
it's
cab
all.
chassis is on
Yeah,
the
it's
cab
all.
chassis.
It's
Is
one
any of
torpedo.
that service? Is any of that serviceable separate?
Mm-mm.
Only
the 650, 750 you can break apart.
It had a code 2002 in it, and it kept like you could do a regen on it, and then you can go like a half a mile up the road, and it's at 75%. So it threw a code. I pulled the code. It was a 2002. You could actually see where the soot was on the bottom of it, so it had an internal crack on it. But when I replaced them, I replaced all the EGTs, the NOx sensors, and the PMS sensor, and then I reset all the values.
It's the only way to do it.
No.
Are your ambulances, do they exit out the right side of the apparatus, or does it loop underneath the back and exit out the driver's side?
Goes out the right side,
So it's
right behind
stock.
the back wheel. Yep.
Yeah, like it. Okay.
Yep, it goes over the axle and then hangs a right. Well, if you're walking underneath it, it's over the axle, then hangs a left. So it's the right side of the truck, back behind the wheel.
Interesting.
Wheels.
I don't know why they would put the PM there, because maybe you'd have a different rear, could have a different rear section depending on what cab chassis configuration is it going to be a dump truck? Is it going to be a garbage truck?
Well, all the ones that I've seen that are cab chassis, even the one that I did the DCR pump on and the turbo, his was inside of the SCR as well. It wasn't in the pipe. That was a 550. It's weird.
What was the code? You just got a 2002. That was it.
Code 2002, and then it had what was it? DPF Regen incomplete bank one, a couple other codes. But the 2002 was the main code. You could actually see it where it had soot all over the bottom of it.
Yep, that I dash.
2002 is kind of like a death code of the DPF.
Yeah.
So.
I remember, I don't know if they have it in the workshop manual or the PCD for that sake. It had, it was like RB 22 was getting to like the last pinpoint test step, and it's like with the vehicle up to operating temperature and in park or neutral, do a 3,000 engine rev up and let the vehicle idle. Do you observe any black smoke emitted from the exhaust? What? Yep. Done.
DPF.
Done.
I felt like an idiot because Andrew and I got that out. We're like, that came out way too easy. Something's going to go wrong. Nothing ever happens that easy. Get the new one out of the box. get the sensor, start putting the sensors in. I was like, where's my EGT sensors? Oh, they didn't send them. Call my parts guy up. Hey, I need the EGT sensors. He sends the sensors. Where's my PMS sensor? He sends the PMS sensor. Cool. Get everything here. Take the core with you. We get everything up underneath the truck. I'm like, dude, I totally left the def injector on that core. Call the parts guy back.
Oh.
Send him back. That dude hated life. I was like, maybe I got one on the shelf. Nope. I used it already.
PM sensor. Oof. That's a scary sensor to do here in the Northeast. It sits in on the 1FT. It sits in the pipe that goes over the rear axle and actually travels along the starboard side aft axle part of the frame and mounts directly to the inside of the boxed in frame. Canadian truck original. I know. Canadian truck, like what year is it? The reset. I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. I'm looking at a comment this guy wrote. The sensor will get stuck right in that pipe, and if you don't have the ability to tap or repair those threads, no, you can't just weld the sensor to that bung. You got to replace that rear section, and you kind of can run into that if you upgrade to the banks, because you have to take that sensor out of your old pipe. So that's the one thing I hate doing, is those PM sensors, because it could be a pain in the dick.
Have you seen the tool that they have for them to get them out if they're stuck?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a little
Promax.
it's almost like a little air hammer. Is that the one you're
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah, like a little chisel bit.
Uh-huh.
I used it on a knock sensor.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Mink 2018. Ooh. I don't know. Maybe I tried to see if there's like an update for your instrument cluster. That's kind of weird. Can't say I've had anybody complain about that. However, we do have, to reiterate one of the shorts we had the other day about the 23s. If your intelligent oil life monitor is continuously saying it's time to change the oil, Bearded Fortech was successful. He was able to reprogram a apparatus and did that to the instrument cluster. And in due time, I believe there's going to be a calibration available here for your local dealer. But if you guys are tired of dealing with the dealer and want to get some updates, or make sure your vehicle's got the latest calibrations, and make sure to see us here in Southeastern Michigan. I put the email to the shop here in the comments a little earlier, powerstroke.trucktech@gmail.com. You guys can feel free to reach out, or shop line 947-900-1115. A lot of good stuff going on. A lot of you guys are coming through and having us do these eye dashes and air filters and fuel tanks and the fuel pumps. That's probably our two biggest ones, is these fuel pumps and the pusher kits. Very the stuff you guys get for these trucks are expensive, but when you are working with good quality components, you get what you pay for. It's no monkeying around. There's no, you got peace of mind. That's why you guys are doing this, and especially with these spin-on fuel filters, like we were just talking about, the simplicity of you guys with the RVs and the hot shotters, and you're having to do this maintenance while you're at the RV park, and are worried about making this huge mess and carrying on and so forth. It makes it so much easier to do, not having that Exxon Valdez hanging over your head because I wouldn't want to be making a fucking mess with the
Do you think when they update the oil life monitor, they'll be able to do that over the air automatically without telling
Mm,
you?
no, you
Or
probably have to come in for
when?
that.
I know mine was
Ooh.
doing that pretty quite a bit.
I'm not saying that's going to work on all of them. I just happened to get lucky and it worked.
What did you do?
Daniel,
I just
Well-
reprogrammed the IPC. Even though it tells you that reprogramming the IPC won't fix it.
Hmm.
But I was like, you know what? It's either going to work or it's not.
Mine was going off like every week.
Oh, this was showing 0.
How long did it? I mean, how long did it take to show 0?
It was showing 0 from the factory.
Oh wow!
Damn.
Even when you try to reset it, it just shows 0.
Mine would go crazy when I'm plowing snow. Like it would be like after a day of plowing snow, it'd just be like you're at 0 again after one day. But now that I'm not plowing snow, it's not doing that.
I bet it's something with the programming. It's got to be.
I thought they had a different algorithm or something, but
Well, see, that's what he was talking about. It says on the TSB that reprogramming the IPC won't fix it. But I did it to one of mine at work and it did fix it. But I'm not saying it's going to fix everybody else's.
By the way, I cannot see the live chat. I don't know why. Do I need to do something?
Go back out and reopen.
I've done it.
the-
Like, I've
Really?
opened it with new tabs. I'm gonna close it out again. I'll try it again.
I don't trust the
where did
forward
he go?
pass.
Daniel
Nope.
Wilhelm, 2020 F-250 dash airbag light on. Anything to worry about? Well, yeah. Was installing new Tesla style console unit. Well, the passenger side airbag, I don't know what you call that. Malfunction indicator lamp is all part of the SRS system. And if that is not plugged in, or is able to prove out, then yes, you're going to get that airbag light on because that's a very crucial part of the random checks that it does every time you turn that lovely ignition key on. 23 turbo. Let's see what he says. They said the bearings in the turbo went bad because of the air intake. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to agree with that. Howdy, folks. Question 23 F350 HO with 30K on it. Getting the turbo replaced. Dealership wants to deny the warranty as they said the SMB air intake was the cause of the failure. Now they have to prove that that is what caused it. How are they relating that the SMB air intake caused the internal bearings on the turbo to fail? And yeah, I guess
The
Are
bearings
they-
are oil
here?
lubricated, though. What does the
It-
air intake have to do with that?
What it did is it shoved air into the turbo so hard that it oversped it to like 200,000 RPM and it broke the bearings.
Right.
That's what
Yeah.
it did. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
sounds like
that's what it did.
You know
Sounds
what
like
it could
the
have been
dealer's just
prevented
hot.
with.
I mean, that's what happens though when you add like a 4,000 horsepower with an air filter. It's just gonna
He hit
it'll
that.
blow up everything.
He hit that go
Yeah.
baby go button.
He probably could have got better results if he put those magnets around his oil feed line. Hear me out, because they would have been all aligned, and like the positives and the negatives of all those little molecules would have been no, maybe
I
just
don't-
a little bit,
I
No.
mean, it could because it could create a magnetic field in the oil, which depending
yes,
on which
the
way the oil
magnetic
cooler lines go,
field.
it could again super speed up the turbo. And as the oil went past the turbo, and it would
are
speed
these
it up, and
AC or DC magnets?
Oh man, that's heavy. That's heavy.
you got to
To me, it just sounds like the dealer's trying to get out of doing warranty
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like. to me.
They probably don't want to do the turbo because they're reading the workshop manual procedure and like, you gotta take the whole DP, you gotta take the trans. Yeah.
Is that how it is with the high outputs? The turbos are a lot more work.
No, but to do the turbo on it, the workshop manual procedure, you have to remove the DPF from the truck. You have to take the downpipe off. In order to take the downpipe off, you have to take the trans lines off out of the trans. It's a pain in the dick.
What
Now,
you're
what's
saying is
different?
there's a
Like,
better
you
way.
don't have to follow it, or what?
Yes, I found a better way, but we don't.
There's too many spies.
Yeah, we don't. We've.
We don't discuss that in
You have to
the
think
internet
outside of the
space.
box.
You need tiny
That's
hands.
Thanks, Nixon. I appreciate you, man. Hey, if hit the email, let us know what you wind up doing. If they wind up taking care of you. Do the studs break? No. No. I haven't heard of the 23 turbos going bad. I have heard of actuators going bad. I've had to take the coolant lines out of the turbo a couple times to do different intakes and the high pressure fuel pumps, but I don't.
Think about the VGT actuator.
Yeah,
Those
I
are
hope-
replaceable though now, aren't they? They're
yeah,
separate.
yeah. Well, they weren't serviceable in the very beginning, but then they
Hmm.
came out with a workshop manual procedure just to replace the VGT, and then they released them serviceable separately from the actual charger. So, dealership
Then
is
they-
recommending a
Then they ran out of
exchange of
them.
brake, coolant and transmission fluid. I'm at 30K. Yeah. I would do it. I would do it. Hopefully they or hopefully you are not. I can't remember where your location is if you're not um in a rust area. Hopefully the bleeder screws aren't
Hmm.
a pain in the butt. Because that's what you wind up getting into. You'll wind up, doing a brake job up here and having to, open up the circuit or get air or something. Now you need to do a 4-wheel brake job because all the bleeder screws are all rusted on the whole thing. So
Does
Because
all
you're
that
not
come
letting
into
the oil.
warranty? Whether or not you maintain the transmission, the diffs, all that.
Lane,
Okay.
why are the 6.7 diesel oil engine dipsticks so hard to read the level? Are they all like this?
Probably because you're not letting it drain back long enough.
I don't know. I don't have a problem. Virginia, nah, you should be good to go, buddy. 2011. Anymore, I lift the cab. The up pipe to turbo bolts suck without. I used to pull the trans. If it's 2-wheel drive, I pull the trans. Said, do a turbo? Oh, bro, I'd rather do an 11 turbo than a freaking new turbo. At least you can leave the downpipe in that boy. I mean, I go through the wheel well all day. And see, exactly the up pipe clamp I'm talking about. But when you do the 20 plus, you know how you go through the wheel well on the driver's up pipe because the clamp is on the bottom and the
I know.
passenger side up pipe's on the top? Well, on the 20 plus, you actually have to go from the engine compartment right over by the CCV box. And that is where the stud is sticking up. So I don't know.
I have an 11 millimeter wrench that's bent, and I can get my hand down in there.
Nasty.
And
these new turbos, they are no joke.
Oh, no.
They are so heavy. I'm talking, dude, how much did that thing weigh? It had to have been 50 pounds.
I think they're like 58 pounds.
Yeah, at least. I was going to say
Yeah.
60, but they are no joke.
That's pretty heavy.
Yeah, King Ranch. Yeah, you can.
Well, it sucks when you got to pull it out of the valley and then step off the front of the truck with it.
This
I
is
just have a
why
hard time telling the oil level on my 6.7. It's frustrating.
this is why I like working on the 3 liters. 'Cause everything is light. This
So are
the
your
turbos
loafers.
the turbos are tiny. The cylinder heads are tiny.
Tiny. Where was it? Where was the yeah, hard time telling the oil level. 6.7. This is what I've done. I know these trucks take 13 quarts of oil. Okay, that's what the capacity is. This is what I have found. If I let you come in for an oil change, you're waiting, have your truck for 45 minutes, do, maintenance, whatever. I'm putting in 13 quarts of oil. If I were to change my oil, I'm gonna let it drain. I'm gonna get that extendo drain. I'm gonna let it drain while I'm doing a bunch of other shit and come back to it. And I'm gonna fill it up, and I'm gonna wind up putting 14 quarts in it. Now, mind you, it's been draining for about 4 or 5 hours because I haven't had time to mess with it. I've just been pulling cars in and out, working on it, just letting it drain. So I will immediately put 13 quarts in it, go drive it around the building, get back up to operating temperature, and then I'll shut it off for like 10 minutes and come back to it and check it. Usually the oil is, on its last golden leg because it'll start, turning black. Which, by the way, I have been questioned. Oh, I brought my vehicle in. How come you change it? Yeah, believe me, I changed your oil. Trust me. And have had good success with checking the level like that. So I would venture to say, you shouldn't have a problem if you're putting that much in. If you get the bigger pans, remember the pans give you 1 extra quart. So your 1 extra quart or 14 is your new 13. So if you let it drain extendo because you got that extra quart, now you're gonna be putting 15 in it. So it's good do right there. Took the words right out of my mouth. There he goes.
I know I found that on the 23, if you put the correct amount of oil in it, it's not at the full mark. It's like halfway up the stick. And I guess it's fine if it's just halfway up the stick. It don't need to necessarily be filled to the absolutely highest full mark.
Well, Ford does say as long as it's between the marks, it's all right.
Like if you put what they tell you, it's like right between the marks. It's not at the full mark. And it's interesting. I was watching Lake Speed, and he was doing a video where he was testing viscosities and all this different stuff, but he ended up filling the crankcase more, like just adding a little bit more oil. And that windage actually had an effect on horsepower because the oil was just getting closer to the rotating assembly.
I just posted a SSM about that and the 3 liters. They're
Did you guys see
sensitive to oil level.
that garage over in Russia where they have like the clear oil pan or the clear
Yeah,
oil
Garage
filter?
54.
Did you see it where he underfilled and completely overfilled the engine?
I saw them. They put it was like surrounding the whole crankshaft.
Uh-huh.
It was,
And
like,
did you see the
all the way
one?
up.
Did you see the one where he cut the crankshaft and then turned it where everything was firing at the same time?
Yeah, it made like no torque. Like they had to like push it at pop started at like 30 miles an hour to get it to
Yeah.
start.
All the pistons were going up and down at the same time.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I love that channel.
That channel's awesome, man.
Yeah, they just try stuff, and that's the best.
But he drove that car around too.
Yeah.
It must have ran pretty rough.
Oh, it barely ran. Like barely at all.
Had to put a positive power wire on the Ranger. The old one burned hard on the terminal. Heavy duty, medium duty, heavy duty, cross plane cranks. Oh, I had to put an engine in one of those. That boy was 21,000 And you
What
best
car is
believe they wanted that fucking engine back. No joke. Had 1,000 miles on it. And you know the guy gave me as a tip a bottle of Dom Perignon, which sat in my refrigerator for probably about 4 years because I don't drink. And I'm going to be changing the oil on it in about a month. Crossplay. Crossfit. No, no, Matt F. I don't know what gaskets you're talking about. Doing a DCR on my 2019? Hell yeah, Vader. Mm-hmm. You're gonna like it. You're gonna like how fast it cranks up. Man. Yes, Zeekster. Yes, Zeekster. And guess what? We've got it matched up to the PPEs. This customer was very excited that we didn't have to change any of his booties except for one boot, which you can't see, but was the week, not the week, the last link to the puzzle that allowed it to work with his setup. So it looks good. They have I think 1, 2, 4 different colors, I think. So you can tickle your fancy. We just did a red PPE kit. I'm sorry, pusher kit. And I've never done the red before. And let me tell you something. That red was so nasty. I'm a big fan of the blue. I haven't seen a white, which can be hard to keep clean. And I have not seen the green, the Kawasaki green. I'm excited to do one of those. But every one of them we done the black, the bronze. The bronze wasn't even out when we started doing the pushers. And I think the bronze is the most we've done since we started doing them. Zeekster getting down with the bronze, probably pops his hood, gets his little LED light, checks out that bass boat sparkle on the bronze, looking fresh, man. It's a really nice setup. Ooh, finishing a 20, a complete fuel system with DCR. Hell yeah. S&B 60 galley. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Have you been able to update the distance to empty on the 23s?
You
Use a
know,
Forscan?
yeah, I did. I have done 2, and I have not heard of anybody complaining about those 2 trucks, but I have heard of people that have been trying to do them and that it's not working out well. I'd have to converse with Zoodad to double check if, in fact, Forscan crew has circumvented around the ability for that to not read correctly.
But you've done it?
Yes.
Yeah, I just saw some people.
Back alley.
I thought you've done it. I could have sworn you've done it. And
Yeah.
some people are like, I cannot do it with Forscan. I'm like,
I did a 23 and a 24, but this was like December of last year. Which sensors make the computer start a regen cycle on a first gen 6.7 or end a regen early? A lot of stuff in the exhaust. All them sensors in the exhaust all have to do their job. Not yet, still fixing it. Okay, Zoodad. I appreciate you. Any trouble with the 20s reprogramming fuel level readout? I don't know. The Easy Link, I don't really have any familiarity with that. We always use Forscan to do that. I've used it on mine, and have had no issues doing
I
a
don't recommend
66
using. I don't recommend using EasyLink to change anything. There's been more
Mm.
problems with the EasyLink than anything. F-150 guys, they try to change their tire size with EasyLink and end up breaking the BCM.
Ah, are you for real?
Dead serious. Then you gotta go in with Forscan beta and
Oh my
re-as-built it
Wow.
or reprogram it.
Zoodad, do you think you could use Forscan beta to as as built a PCM or restore a PCM? I have a hypothesis, and I have no way of testing it.
It depends on the PCM style. I'll tell you that right now.
Hmm.
What style controller is it?
This would have been from a newer model truck, so like a 21, a 20 or 21.
A 2-plug.
No, it's a 3.
It's a 3-plug. Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. It can be done. The problem is I've bricked them that way.
Scary.
Yeah, and especially when you consider how expensive they are. It's
Yeah.
if you're like, oh well, I just bricked it. $2,000 gone.
Yeah.
$3,000 gone. It's a lot of risk. It's not like a $250 computer.
The oil in my truck is as clear as honey all the time. It never gets black like a normal diesel.
Oh, that sounds like something's missing then.
I wonder
Yeah.
why.
Does it
Sounds
run?
sounds like there's a few parts missing. If that's the case.
Still haven't figured out
Does it
the
run?
tailgate error message.
Sorry,
Get out of my head, bro. I was thinking the same shit. Oh, God.
my filter is just not as good tonight. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It's killing me.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll end it there and get this live stream chat in the after party here on the show. We're going to talk about man shit and Jeeps and mud and melted taillights and what we're going to do about it that we can't talk about on the internets because the dealer ain't going to fix it. So we are going to have to fix it. Cliffy, DS, thanks for coming tonight and being open and awake with us. Captain Save a Truck, Rainman Ray, Florida Man, CPG, Beater Fortech. Thank you guys. We will see you all later. We'll see you Friday and we'll see you tomorrow. And good night, Ma. Good night, Pa. Good night, John Boy.